Hello, hello, my lovelies. All right, we have a poll going on, and out of 80, whoa, it's going up as I'm counting. Let me just check it. Let's see, what do we got? 92 votes. 95% of you do not believe that this child, Sebastian Rogers, walked out that door on his own, by his own choice. That is astonishing that now we're at 94%. But we have 108 votes. We'll have to check it. You guys will have to remind me because Mama D forgets that kind of stuff. But check it, right? Welcome to 1111 True Crime, my beautifuls. We're going to try it for the night and see how it works to have chat up on the window. Oh, let's get this beautiful guy up here. Let's see, what do I got to do? Something about like that. Welcome, everybody, like I said, to 1111 True Crime, everybody's favorite voice on the YouTube streets. Happy to be here with you. Wish it was on better circumstances. We're going to be talking about what took them to the landfill. I want your opinion on that. They had to have a reason to be able to get a search warrant, to be able to search a landfill. Okay? So what would be the reason that they found out right away that made them go, wait a minute, let's go check the landfill? And it's got to be something important. There's got to be something there. And I feel like it could give us something to hold on to. But, excuse me, forgive me. I would like to welcome all of you. If you are on replay, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you doing a replay for me and for this beautiful child, Sebastian Rogers, or young man, right? 15 years old, missing from Hendersonville, Tennessee. And I'm out here spreading the word, just like you are. We're going to keep talking about Sebastian as we do other things as well. But my main focus right now is him. And we're going to be talking about what we want to do about this law and what information I found out already. So a lot's going to be going on. So, like I said, if you are on replay, thank you. And remember, you have control of your buttons. If you need to fast forward, feel free to do so. Welcome to all my beautiful, beautiful faces over here on the live. Thank you, my lovelies, for tuning in. And for those of you, we are getting our Discord going, which is our true crime workshop. And I'm learning. Like, I did a whole bunch of stuff today and then deleted it all because I did it wrong. So it may be a little slower in learning Discord for me and the new way that it's done, but I assure you it's going to connect us all in a better way because there's going to be places where we can drop information, drop links. We don't have to censor every little word. We can more freely converse, and there's a lot of perks to it. So that's going to be really good. It's going to allow us to work more intimately with the casework, whether it's Sebastian Rogers or, and cover different cases at the same time. I mean, I do cover different cases, some of them publicly, some of them I just am covering so that I could jump in if I needed to because I'm curious as to how that's going, like the Micah Miller case. I've been watching everything with that pastor, and people are asking, how come the FBI can jump in there, but not when we have a 15-year-old autistic child missing? And we are very confused, and none of us have the real answers, at least not the ones we're hoping for. Hey, Missy Motormouth, you say I have been behaving tonight. I got a Facebook account for going ape crap on JP Miller. I'm thinking you probably got timed out is what you meant instead of tonight. Oh, there are some really rotten tater tots on this planet. Like, they smell. Ozark Lisa, hello from Arkansas, you say. Well, I have family down in Arkansas. I'm very familiar with Benton, Arkansas, and, well, that's pretty far away from my family, but still, I'm very familiar with the area. Hey, Carolyn Miller. Good evening to you too, lovely. Lisa Balzac says, oh, just hi. So it has been a long journey, and we are nowhere closer to finding this child. Everybody wants TBI to have a presser for Sebastian. And they just don't have anything to say, they said. Well, I'm anything to tell you. I have a good reason. A really good reason. It's called getting the face of the victim coverage. That's a pretty dang good reason. I mean, I don't think people understand. There are people in counties next to you in Tennessee, next to Sumner County, that have no knowledge this child is missing. I kid you not. So I don't understand TBI not doing that. But, like I said, I had a conversation with TBI on the tip line. Now, keep in mind, very tight-lipped. They didn't do much talking. Can't imagine that. Mama D talking too much. It's my nature. But they did tell me when they wanted to know, I can't remember how it went, but I asked something about, I just wanted it to go to TBI and FBI, but not Sumner County. And she was like, why? And I said, because, in as much as I know, which I could be wrong, but from my knowledge that I believe, what people have told me, and a lot of them, is that one of the people that I fear is somebody of interest, a person of interest, may have family in the Sumner County LE department. And I was told that Sumner County is in the lead of this investigation, that TBI comes in when requested by Sumner and assists when asked. I was also told that any tip I submitted to TBI goes directly to Sumner. And I'm like, great. I don't have a lot of faith in that. And she just stayed quiet. I didn't hear any more. But I do feel, getting TBI to at least be like, hey, hello, I know we don't have anything to share with you, for news, but it might be new to some of you. Have you seen this child? His name is Sebastian Rogers. He's an Amber Alert. He does take medication. It's not necessarily life-saving, but it's helpful that he has his medication. There's many things about him that we would like you to know about. One, he was last seen, and clarify that right there, when he was last seen, right? That would clear up a lot. Y'all are buffering. What? Jennifer Slane says. Yep. It all goes to Sumner County, I promise you. That came right from TBI, and I'm giving you my 100% factual truth on that. Susanna says Sumner County could be bought and paid for. I'm going to do the goat. We have a mascot. It is a goat, and it is our release of tension, right? And when I squeeze this little prop, it screams. So if your boss is listening or you're just about to fall asleep, just know it's loud. I know. It has sucked the wind out of me. Like, legitimately. And then, so I talked to, I'll just say it this way. I found out that, unfortunately, we would be violating some forefather amendment rights, like our constitutional rights to pass our law. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's got to be a way around it. So I'm frustrated with it all, but I am not giving up on Sebastian. I know a lot of people have jumped ship because the drama got so thick, but we're trying to keep the drama out, and we're still looking for the boy, and we're still doing our job of trying to keep eyes on him. keep his case from going cold. We are nearing 90 days. Sam R. says, definitely covering it up. Hi, silly me. How are you doing? Hey, Jennifer Swain, lovely. Our all-star panel. Mr. Ifs must had something he had to do tonight. Oh, there he is. I couldn't find you at first, Mr. Ifs. You say, Mr. Ifs, maybe replaying this one because I'm in a meeting. There it is. Hopefully I will be back later. Well, we'll miss you, Mr. Ifs. Hey, Jenny Troglin, lovely. I hope you're doing well tonight. I'm glad you got to join us. Hi, Teresa Wood. So, in this, I wanted to talk about what are your feelings? Somebody share with me. Well, all of you can share, and even in the comments on replay and in post in the chat. If he didn't walk out the door, if that's not your theory, what is your idea? Now, keep it short enough I can read it for everybody. But what do you think happened? Share with that. And if you do feel he walked out that door, where is he? Give me your thoughts, and I'll share it with everybody. Hello, Cherish63. How are you? Alex Smith says, CP and KP remind me of Susan Smith, Letica Staunch, and Casey Anthony. Oof. Kaya Gypsy says, too many signs. It was his last day. I did read a comment that was very depressing. It really put it into light. It made me understand something I wasn't aware of until Madeline SOTO'S case. And that was that actual say, fused A, pig Latin for YouTube. See, on Discord, we won't have to talk like we're unintelligent. People that have been essayed, right? When they're children, there gets to be a point, and I'm not saying Sebastian was, but it could be a different kind of A, right? It could be physical and so forth. When they hit a certain age and they start like having more communication with the outside world, whether they're little and they're going to start school, or they're moving in with a different parent, or something that changes where there's less control of that child. It's become this knowledge that I've gained over watching the last few cases, and this poster put this out there for me, and I was like, oh my gosh. It's when they've decided to silence them, they themselves have so much that they need to atone for, and they feel like they've got to do like a celebration of life with them, I guess. And it's blowing my mind that people actually premeditate anything like that. It's beyond reason. Susanna says, in my opinion, KP is the mastermind. Sebastian was handed off to CP's mother by KP. CP did the deed in Mississippi woods and dumped him in the Mississippi River. Akira says, in KP's vehicle handed off to Kathy Bowersox, unalived and hidden, in my opinion. Jennifer Swain says, I'm curious to know if CP and KP are living in the same house now. Do you mean like together, Jennifer? Or do you mean like in a different location? Carolyn Miller says, Karma Moon, that would require mythology. It was a Carolyn Miller, was it a Karma Moon? Diana Bond says, Katie was quite the profile on LinkedIn, well-trained, not just for Navy, but video surveillance, computer tech, among many more things. True, Diana. I did a little video on that. Ooh. Deep breath, you guys. Kim French says, in my opinion, Sebastian was moved a few times. Karen Guy says, I believe he's in the Yogi Bear campground in the woods. Ooh. LA says, yeah, they need to keep rechecking. A lady went missing and was stuck in the mud for 2 days. Dang. Rhea, y'all, one time when I was pregnant, big, huge pregnant, my husband grabbed the last bit of the groceries and went in the house and began to unload the groceries. And we were in Wisconsin. It was icy, and my stomach was huge, and I hit a patch of ice. And my feet blew out from under me, and I fell flat on my back, and I slid up under the car on the ice. But my belly caught me, and I was literally not in any pain, and the baby wasn't hurt. I couldn't get up on my own. I couldn't get back out of that. I was penned, like I needed somebody to rescue me. And it took him 30 minutes before he come out there and was like, hello, where are you? I was missing for 30 minutes. I had to have Oreo ice cream to make me feel better. And I was emotional. I was like, I almost died. He's like, you were only out there 30 minutes, baby. I just thought you were talking to your mom on the phone. I'm like, no, I was pinned under a car, 9 months pregnant. Give me more ice cream. Right? I'm not trying to make light of it, but I'm just saying, I only had a few seconds in my life, and that was 35 years ago, or 30 years ago. That was with my oldest, my firstborn. Yeah, 35 years ago. I still remember it. So it really bugs me. I'm like, what has happened to this child, this young man? Right. There were no child support exchangements ever on the board because they share 50-50 custody. So that wouldn't be a deal. I agree. I don't know who threw it out there, but you guys are right. Ghost Annan said, hey, at least he checked in 30 minutes, not hours later. Right? Rachel Watson, they had agreement, neither pay child support, right? So that was not an issue. Keep Sebastian quiet was, in my opinion. And I think so too. So what was Sebastian about to share? I mean, if we had to pile, like something Sebastian was going to say, if we had to make a pile over here where our betting chips are, I would like you to give me the reason that you feel he may, what was he going to be quiet about? Give me your reason. Renee Marie says, Seth should have seen the red flags, only took Sebastian every other weekend. They all failed him, in my opinion. And everybody's opinion's respected. Jennifer Swain says, are Katie and, or are CP and KP still a couple? I don't know, y'all. Have we seen them? When have we seen them together or heard them together? When's the last time? Good evening, riding solo. Hello, lovely. Alexa says, yeah, I think there was stuff going on in that house, and they didn't want to take him anymore. Oh, you're right. In my humble opinion, Rachel Watson, more abuse that would have landed Chris in jail. Whew. It's just so hard to really think about little Sebastian going through all of this, and then to pile it on, he had autism, which is a space issue, and to know he was under that kind of pressure, or to believe it, right? Rachel Watson, more abuse, right? I agree with you. Mustang Sherry, hello, you said. I'm sorry I laughed. I fell when I was pregnant too, and so big needed a helping hand from hubby. Right? And, you know, when we're pregnant, we're so dramatic when we're like 9 months, because it's like we're on like mercy, have mercy on me at that point. Laura D, if it were me, I wouldn't leave him anywhere. It would be connected to me if he was found. Mm-hmm. That is a big point. You wouldn't want him to be found ever. You wouldn't leave him anywhere. Because let's say my theory is right, and I'm always up for somebody poking a hole in it. Please do. Because I want hope. Just saying. That's a pretty hopeless theory. And just because it's a theory doesn't mean that that is what occurred. Um, but you bring up, Laura, that moment where you think to yourself, would they have used a suitcase or a chest, a deep freezer, something that will never be searched? On their own property, did they lay some cement? Is there a new driveway somewhere? LA says, what if it was a bad neighbor watching him and has him? Would be weird for Sebastian to be like, okay, tonight's the night, I'm going to head out the door and I'm going to run away. And the neighbor's like, that's the kid I've been watching right now. I bet I can catch him in the night and not wake anybody up if he screams, even though he's a fast runner. Now, I'm not making fun of you. I'm just saying, think it through. How would the neighbor get to him, you guys? How would the neighbor get to him? Because I can't follow it. I'm like, all Sebastian would have to do if it was a neighbor would be scream if somebody tried to kidnap him. Or are you guys saying like the neighbor was like, oh, there's that kid. Come here, come here. Hey, I've got colossal popcorn in my living room with movies. Or another one, which I could see more realistic, are you saying maybe Sebastian went to a neighbor and it just happened to be a nefarious one? And he was like, can you call or hide me? Can you call 911 or something? And then the neighbor was like, sure, I can. Come in, little boy. I've got colossal popcorn in the back room. I don't know. I'm trying to follow it, but I just feel it's too quinky-dink for me. But I could be wrong. You guys could be right. Oh, Dana Lynn says the RV is just sitting there. No one has seen either of them coming in or out of that RV. This friend or co-worker is a witness, in my opinion. Lucy Lou Who, you're not alone. You say, I feel like he's in cement somewhere. There's a lot of people that feel that way. LA, my first theory, she is hiding him, trying to satisfy Chris. Sebastian didn't want to go to Seth's. They are acting like he is alive. I hope you're right. Ooh, maybe a hockey bag? Eee. Thank you, Kim French. Ooh. He did hide under a car before, Joe Puglish. I've heard that from a reliable source, as they say. I know we're sick of reliable sources, but I can't remember who told me that. I just remember I was like, yeah, okay, that's somebody I believe. I think it was an actual neighbor that he did it to. Right. Karma Moon says, no shoes. That isn't likely. Right, silly me. He didn't leave without shoes. Sewer system on the new construction site, Renee Marie suggested. Lynette Klump says, CPS should have notified Seth about the allegations. Seth's mom may have convinced him to report to a teacher. Mandated reporter, in my opinion, CP and KP had to silence him. Yeah, I don't either, Jennifer Swain. She says, I don't think Sebastian left on his own at all. But I do think he walked through that door. I really do. I think they're right. I think he walked through that door, and I think they went to eat at Texas Roadhouse, and I don't think he came back through it. Ghost Annan says all his possessions are accounted for. Nothing was taken. If he were to leave with a plan, why not bring anything? Like even your shoes, right? Crystal Clear says, so CP's family owns a funeral home. Okay, let's stop there. Actually, I heard that that is true. I heard that his family owns a funeral home not that far away, but I don't know if that's true. So we're going to say we've heard a rumor. So we've heard a rumor that CP's family owns a funeral home. What if somebody passed and had a closed casket, was never opened, and they put him in there and he could have got cremated and buried with that person? Why go through all that? Why not just cremate him? I mean, it's just a couple hours. Alex Smith, if my kid was missing, I would have been screaming up and down the neighborhood, knocking the doors, asking if anyone has seen Sebastian. I probably would be just like you. I would be arrested. I'd be like busting down the doors and going in their houses without permission, looking for my kid, screaming out his name, right? LA says, why would they unalive him if he was moving to Seth? That's a huge question we all have. And the only thing I can think of, because that's a very good question, LA, and all of us have it. Like, I think everybody is stumped. Why would the child go missing if he's being handed off already and out of their hair, air quotes in a way, you know, so to speak? And the child was going there. So I kind of wondered, what if it's a reverse psychology move? What if it's all along they plan to become a family of two, okay? And they purposely did that so that it would look like that would make no sense. Like, why would we steal a purse? We're millionaires, okay? But they really did steal a purse. You see what I'm saying? Like a reverse psychology thing. But that is a good question, and I don't know the answer. Joe Puglish, someone said he was groggy from the drugs, and when his mom locked him out, he tried to get help from a neighbor. Okay, and got hit by a car, a drunk driver who hit him, and so he wouldn't get in trouble. Oh my gosh. Wouldn't that be something? Wouldn't there be blood on the road? And would the drunk driver have hit anything besides a child? I don't know. Wouldn't the cameras have picked up that? I mean, there's a lot to unpack there, but that is a rumor I had not heard before. You heard it on the police cam? I've never seen that police cam. I definitely haven't heard that. I want to see that police cam, though. I'd have to see it for my own eyes to believe it. Diana Bond. No, I do not believe he left at all. I believe he was silenced. CP gave Katie an ultimatum. I think the cap 'em where they were, no one would expect it. I'm not sure what cap 'em means, but thank you, Diana. Keelan Reed, all in the family dynamics, dysfunction leads me to believe it happened at home because of home. Rodina Bulletin says, think KP was keeping Sebastian away from Seth. Wow. That would be... What would be your reason? Why would she not want him to go to Seth? Follow up, lovely. Sandy McCracken says, I think he's underwater or under cement. Whoever did this never expects him to be found. Oh, right? Makes you worry. When we're almost at 3 months, it really makes me worry. That is something I heard too. I heard that right out of Seth's mouth. Renee Marie brings up, and I heard it too, that he told Seth, Sebastian told Seth, according to Seth, he didn't want to go home. Seth told him, we'll see how it goes. Colleen believes they didn't want Sebastian telling Seth anything. Is it the best day ever scenario? Where there's been ABUSE in the home, and it's at that point, and it was like, well, you think about it, where was Summer going? To school. Madeline Soto turned 13. She was about to start a whole new world, right? As a young woman. Sebastian's a little bit delayed, right? But at 15, he's now hit puberty. What is it? What was it, you guys? What triggered this all? Renee Marie says KP packed his suitcase when they went home to put away snacks, in my opinion. Kaylin Miller points out they claim they checked all pipes and manholes. Laura D said, had to have time to lock the door, but didn't take shoes that were at the door. That's a good point. It is refreshing. I look forward to talking with you guys because you're my best friends. And you don't bring the drama. We focus on what we're supposed to be doing, which is trying to figure out something. And at the same, what could have happened to the child or how can we help getting the face of the child out there and just keeping his case alive in hopes that people will actually come together and work together. We're setting the example. Linda Odell says, my opinion, Sebastian isn't anywhere around in his home. I'm thinking he was drove somewhere else, not even close to his home. Just my opinion, but I do hope this mystery gets solved. Ask KP and CP, please. They won't tell us anyway, lovely. Alex Smith, you have an awesome point. I say awesome because it's smart, and that's what I really do believe. And Alex says they didn't want him telling Seth what was happening, in my opinion. Colleen says they say Sebastian got sick at the restaurant, so I started there. Who said he got sick at the restaurant? I've never heard that. Ever. I don't know where that came from. Can you share with me? Follow it, please. In my opinion, says Kimberly, I think CP's mom is hiding them. CP mom tried with Faith. I mean, you're not wrong from what I know or what I believe, but I could be wrong. Rachel Watson says because he no longer had the threat of return, so he would then feel safe to tell Seth about the abuse. Rachel Watson, you've nailed exactly how I feel. Can I pin that? Okay, I'm going to pin this. Okay. I want you to look at that, and I want you to give me a 1 if you agree with Rachel and me, or a 2 if you don't, just to get a feel. Just to get a feel. How is our poll going? We're at 93%. Let me check it. 373 votes. 7% said yes. They believe he left on his own choice. 93% said no. No. Nay, right? All right, let me get to the bottom so I can see what you guys are saying. So again, give me a 1 if you agree and a 2 if you don't, please. Ghost Annan says KP was the last one with him, not Seth. That's true. As far as we know, right? Because Seth was on camera. Diana Bond says the reason would be they didn't want Seth to know about the physical and SA. So Katie took Sebastian out for his last supper. I believe maybe S was SA maybe more than once. I pray not. Colleen Novak didn't want him to tell what happened in the house. If he knew he was not going back there, he could finally tell his story. Woo, look at the ones. That's a lot of ones that believe that that is exactly it. So wouldn't that make more sense to fake the scenario that he is going to Seth and make the father think that too, so that it just looks wild? Why would the kid be going away and disappeared? I mean, we wouldn't do it because we were willing to give him to you. Don't look at us. Kimberly says, I think Katie holds the key. Kay Paris, Carrie, I like that name. Kay Paris says, I always suspected the job site because of the construction. He could have hid the body where it could never be found. Well, I've heard that St. Jude's is their construction site. I've heard, I don't know if it's true, is like high security. Okay. Balance says, think they may have handed him off to family or could have done away, but motive was to keep him from revealing the abuse from both. I'm not going to read it, Missy Lovely, just because it's hard for me to stomach. I mean, okay, I'm just going to say it a different way. If CP is so grossed out by pee pee and poo poo and depends, would he be touching, attracted to? I'm just saying, to me, I think it was more physical. Well, and Christy V, you say, I think the three-way 911 call is suspicious, sweetheart. It wasn't even a 911 call. I agree, it's totally suspicious. Yo, I did most of the talking to that TBI lady because she wouldn't talk to me much. She just sat there. I'd have to ask her a yes or no question for to get her to know she was still alive. But I couldn't help it. I was like, I do think it's strange that they, called like they knew a cell number, which I didn't know if that was true or not. But I told her that. I'm like, I heard that like he dialed a cell number, like a private number to report Sebastian missing and did a three-way with the mother. I'm like, and then they're the ones investigating this? And she didn't answer me. She just was quiet. And I was like, okay, well, I've probably taken enough of your time. A good TBI agent, though. Never even gave a hint what they were thinking. Cassie Christian's son, and if that was my son, I would be calling 911 and then have my husband call the sheriff's department so everybody knows my child was missing. Amen, Cassie. You get a gold star. For real. That's amazingly good. That's what I do too, and everybody else in here, because we all are cut from the motherly protective cloth where we love our kids, and it's just a nature for us to be like mama bears, right? Ghost Stannon says, I would punch my husband if he ever called my kid the P word. Right? Smack. I don't recommend violence. I'm a platform. I can't recommend violence, but I can read your statements. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Katie tells the truth with her hand gestures in interviews with Chronicle of Bolivia, in my opinion. Don't dive. I've got to rewatch that now. Zenobia says, I just downloaded Discord. Ready when you are. Sounds good, lovely. Like I said, I thought I was doing great. I'll just tell you what I did. I'll just get real with you. I made all these subcategories and it was like, oh, this is so great. Like, you want to talk about Sebastian, you go over here. If you want to do this and talk about Micah Miller, you go to that room. And I had it all broke down by all these cases. And then I was like, wait a minute. I can make one room and it has threads. Dang it. And I was like, okay, I can simplify. Keep it simple. Sweet and simple. Ooh, Jennifer Swain, I'm with you. I'm with you, baby girl. You say, I think Katie let Chris discipline and it went too far. I think it was more than that even. I'm beyond that. I'm in the thought it out, planned it out. hmm Jody Huntsman says, I think he was disposed of. KP's family didn't like him. I can't see them hiding him liability. I'm with you, Jody. I'm not necessarily saying we're right, but I really, really, really feel that that could be it. Ghost Shannon says her instincts obviously didn't kick in. And I know that you've got that, like, kind of like, haha, but it really, I think you're right. I almost feel like somehow, well, let's be real. Let's be real. It's her only child, okay? Whew. This is going to be hard to talk about. It's not giving anybody excuse. I'm taking Katie's name out of it, Sebastian's name out of it. I'm going to put this on the table to you. When a child is essayed at a very young age, and they grow up essayed, and then they do have their own child, there can be a lack of bonding to the child. There can be a feeling of ashamement, a shame, and here's why. Fornication produces often pregnancy, which produces a child. The child can always be a reminder of some sort of experience you've had in trauma. So when the mother doesn't bond, sometimes they will exit the child's life, leave them with the father, family, or worse, right? Or sometimes, and this is not a cop-out, I'm just saying, sometimes they just aren't equipped with the ability to connect and bond with that child. It's not often, but it can happen. And they may go into the services so that, because they're not as a, Time Say Soul says, in my opinion, CP has an abusive character so clear as day. Right? Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I do feel he is right. He's a big bag of tater tots. A big bag of rotten tater tots, in my opinion. Alex Smith says the other thing is they waited a week to get in front of the camera. I would have been on it that day and begging for the safe return of my child. Some people wonder and have asked me if I think they waited that long for Chris's arms to heal more. Lane, hello. Welcome to 1111 True Crime. You said if KP is back at the house, I hope she hears that thud over and over again each night. You think that thud happened there, you guys? Give me a 1. I know, it's a 1 or 2. Give me a 1 if you think that that legitimately happened where there was a thud in the house. Give me a 2 if you're like, nope. I don't believe that the thud happened at all. I'm just wondering how many of you believe that Katie heard a thud and how many of you think that she might be making it up. I'm just curious what your opinion is. Alex Smith says for his arms to heal and get the body language and their story together. Interesting. Kaylin Miller says, so moms get overwhelmed with disability children, sadly. Nope. A lot of twos. Nope, nope, nope. 111. Interesting. Mostly twos. I think there was 2 1s. And there's over 20 twos, probably. Unless she caused the thud. Think made it up, says Duchess Drizzle. One, she made the thud. Dang. Sammy G says, I think Sebastian is haunting that house. Why she won't go back? Larson Pat has a question for you guys. If you were home alone and hear a thud, would you go check it out? Time Space wants to know about her 3-hour phone call. Right? What do you have to talk about? If there was a thud, why didn't she go check it out? Asked Linda Timmons. I agree. Alex Smith says, if I hear a thud in my kid's room, I'm checking on my kids. Dana Lynn says she won't go back because she's scared of being there without CP. Scared of what? Carol Bauer, if a real mother heard a thud, she would have checked on her child. You all agree. Interesting. Duchess Drizilla says, everyone checks a loud noise out. My pets, especially my cats, make noise all the time, knocking things down. If I hear it, I go check it. Well, especially if you're a woman at home and you have common sense, right? Because you're alone. Even if you are like Superwoman, if you're a thud and you're like, hey, you okay in there? I would have asked something different, I think, because I'm 100% sure I would, personally. I think what would have come out of my mouth was that you? Then I would have asked, are you okay? Because if the child says no, by golly, guess what? I'm going to get up, and not only am I going to check it out, but I'm going to get something to make sure I'm safe while I'm checking it out. Would that be your question? Are you okay? Or would your natural question be, was that you? I don't know. What do you guys think? Good question. Laura D is wondering if CP heard the thud. I mean, they're on the phone. Were they on speakerphone? Or did she do the old-fashioned way of having to have the phone up to her ear? Duchess says, did he bang his head on the wall at all? Lots of kids with issues do that. Could he be mad enough to bang his head on the wall and she just went to sleep and blocked him out? I don't know. Missy Motormouth says, he was going to divorce her over Sebastian, in my opinion. In December, y'all remember that she was CP team. She knew she had, I'm trying to make sense of this. She knew she had to get rid of one to have the other. They both did it. Oh, I get ya. Oh, wow. Yeah. Yeah. Like, right. You guys know how I'd be, because if you've been with me over a hot minute, like I've been on here a couple of years on this channel, and there was times when I was like, I just heard a really loud sound. I'll be right back on a live. And it was like, take us with you. Because if I hear a really loud bang, I want to know what the heck is going on. How do you know it's not somebody breaking into your house? Oh, Starlight Moonbeam. Ooh, you said, in my opinion, she chased him into his room. The thud was when she didn't let go of his neck. Just a scenario. Dana Lynn says CP will roll over on KP to try and get out of anything. How many times has he said, I wasn't there? Dirty Socks is guiding him. I guarantee it. Brenda Gann says, come in late. What happened to your blackout theory? What do you mean, what happened to it? Should I check? Is it not up or something? I'm not sure what happened to it. Huh. I'll go look. I mean, what could it hurt? Yeah, it's right there. I got Blackout 1 and Blackout 2 right there. I'm not sure, lovely. But thanks for asking. You know, and would she have a conscience at this point if she could do that to her own kid? I'm just asking. Casey Anthony didn't seem to have a conscience, right? I mean, if you're a mother and you intentionally plan your own child having the best day ever, right? One of those kind of days. I'm just saying, I don't think you have a conscience. I don't think you have a soul. Just my humble opinion. Well, at 15, if I heard a thud, first thing I would do before I moved out of my chair would be like, try to locate the sound. And I'd be like, was that you? And if he answered right away and was like, no, I'd be like, okay. I'd get up and I'd try to locate where the sound came from in my head. Like, where'd I hear it from? But that's just me. But I get what you guys are saying. I get what you guys are saying. Larson Pat says, I do not believe any of the three adults. In this case, this poor baby, my heart hurts for him. I know what you mean. Michelle Scott, where did CP say, yeah, I'm buying a body under concrete? I'm burying a body under concrete. In the beginning of this on tape, I didn't hear that. I never heard that. I think there was something about him saying he thinks it's funny when people say that because blah, blah, blah. But I think it was in a Facebook post, maybe. Ooh. Ooh, Jennifer. Ooh. Jennifer says, give Katie reduced sentence to give up Chris. If they were charged, right? Wow. Thank you, lovely, for that $50 snooper chat. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you, love. Perry Bradley says, however much thick, he came out with a disgusting, accurate description of burying a body in concrete. Yeah. Like it has to be, what, 12 inches thick? And he knew. He knew. Jennifer says, y'all, spell check, y'all. uh, we knew exactly what you meant. Thank you, Jennifer Love. Scorpio, hello, lovely. You say without money and his medication, it does not make sense for him roaming around outside. Very weird. Susie Aker says, I still think he HUNG himself, and CP didn't want it known. Somebody has suggested that the thud was the chair being kicked out. But my problem is the best day ever. It was just too planned. It reminds me too much of that. And then to remove a body from a house, are you kidding me? It would get complicated. There'd be so many chances for screw up. So I have a hard time going with that. But I could be completely wrong. Of course, of course. I'm just a mom. Right, Missy Motormouth says. I heard him say that about the concrete. So maybe you guys are right. Maybe it was he repeated it. I know I read it, but maybe he also said it at another time. And you say he was making a joke, but it wasn't funny. Ruth D says, I looked up the case here in NM, and they have audio that is being looked into by the judge, but there was a lot of audios. Huh. Michelle Scott says Tony ruined national interview with Elizabeth Vargas. Seth was doing fine, honest, genuine, once his son recovered. Tony should be fired so bad. I'm sure Seth knows KP and CP hurt him, in my opinion. Time Space says, let's see how long it takes Katie to break down and tell the truth what happened that night. It's almost going to take that, I fear. Oh, hi, Tina Young. You said, hello, a love family. Missed you all. How's everyone doing? Blessed, I pray. Ah, thank you, sweetheart. Zenobia says, I cannot shake the gut feeling that last night out was just that. Kimmy says she grew to hate her kid, in my opinion, because of CP, and the money corrupted her mind and heart. Akira says, if my child was missing and someone described how to bury a person in concrete, I would completely break down. CP describing the process was frightening to me. I would have lost it on CP well before now if I was Katie and my kid was missing. Like the time he recently just said the best thing about Sebastian being missing is there's no evidence. I mean, y'all would have heard this weird sound. You'd be like, was that a cast iron frying pan hitting somebody in the head? That's that's the sound effect that it sounded like coming from Mama D's phone. You know? I mean, what in the world? Ghost Annan, if you are right, it's working. And you believe that Tony was sent in to cause the chaos. Carol Bauer says, could be anywhere from home to CP's workplace. Michelle Scott, you got a good point. Longer under the water, less chance of COD, cause of death. And a follow-up on that about Tony, Ghost Annan says, and a spy on Seth. Jennifer Wayne says she was the only one involved. Different here. Oh, I missed something. That was for Alex. Sorry. Laura D says there are dogs that could snip through concrete. Yes. Absolutely true. But if they can't get to the property because they're not allowed on there, they ain't going to snip through it. Right? Diana Bond says she, Katie, shows no emotion, in my opinion, rarely looks at the people that are interviewing her, and no tears. Right, Akira. That's true. In the same interview that I just talked about, where he was like, the best thing is there's Sebastian left no evidence. They asked how CP was doing and how Katie was doing, and CP was like, good. Duchess says, don't they say she was seeing a neighbor and something married to older? There is someone else involved. We just don't know about CO. Wouldn't let it come out. She cheated on him. Okay. So if there is anybody third party in a relationship with her, I feel we would already have some evidence to show you, some sort of paper trail. Somebody caught it on a ring cam. Somebody would be like, oh, yeah, look, here's a guy's car. Here's this. I could be wrong, but with all the people digging in, I mean, why have we nothing? No name. This person hasn't come forward. Nobody has an idea who it would be. There's no, like, pictures. There's no history of it. So I will just offer this. If that's true, she has some big balls. Be honest. Because if KP found out she was cheating on her, I think we'd have another missing person. Just my humble opinion. Susie Akers says Katie seems emotionally destroyed. Blue Yays Jewel says, I'm trying to find the link to become a member. Can one of my mods help, please? Please. Thank you. No, the thud was false, says Army Mom. Okay. You think she was embellishing? Ghost Annan says if she's willing to get rid of her kid for her husband, she isn't cheating. Excellent point, Ghost Annan. I mean, you have to really start adding it up, right? To make sense of it. Duchess Drizzle says, I also agree with the blackout theory, at least part of it. Right. And you know, you guys, it's just one possible scenario. Right? Doesn't mean it really happened, but I haven't had anybody be like, here's why it couldn't happen. Except, I do want to say we have a dash cam issue on theory 2. On theory 1, it works. On theory 2, this is what somebody brought up, and it was brilliant. And this is what I really enjoy, is when somebody can bring it up, because then I think about it, and I kind of digest it. So let's say, and spoiler alert, if you have not seen Operation Blackout Theory 2, because I'm going to share a part of it. So in that theory, Sebastian and Katie would be driving past the RL Warshams and park over here, and Sebastian would get out and there would be a handoff. Safe exchange there. However, even though it would be dark, Katie would have had to shut her dash cam off right after or right before her turn to her house. So the only thing I can think of is if she said, all right, bud, and you could see they were in their neighborhood, you know, going towards their neighborhood. If she was like at the very last second, she was like, okay, buddy, we're home, and shut the dash cam off. That's the only way out of that. Otherwise, if she doesn't have control of her dash cam, which I don't know, does she? Can she manually shut it off? Did it manually get shut off? Was it running and there was conversation of Sebastian the entire time right into the garage? Do we have anything like that? We don't know. But I thought it was excellent that somebody was able to pull that front and center for me to really think about. Ooh. Who? Colleen Novak says his mama took the body in her car, in my opinion. Michelle Scott says Dirty Socks hated Sebastian. Proven on Nina's video, in my opinion, their capability of GM Box evil deeds. What does GM Box mean on? Vivian says JLR showed screenshot of CP profile on some swinger or sex group. He also flirted with some waitress. Oh, Lord. I don't doubt it. Y'all, I think, okay, I'm going to give you my own humble opinion, like what I think of. Y'all remember that movie written by Stephen King called The Shining, and there's a Here Johnny moment? Here's Johnny! And then, you know, that whole scene. That's how I see Chris Proudfoot. Legit. Absolutely, truly. That's my humble take of the energy. You know, you have a good point. Don't drive, 509. Or don't dive. Sorry. I thought I said don't drive. Don't dive. You said maybe they took the van. It is weird how protective they are of the work van. Wouldn't even talk to Nancy Grace about it. And she was like, have you asked if you could talk about it? And they're like, no. She's like, mm-hmm. Hey, Black Skies 34, how you doing? Laura D, you say, do we know when Mama B was there, AM or PM? Allegedly, she was there before Seth got there at 7:30 in the morning. Carolyn Miller says, or she just drove him in the trunk to the beach storage unit. Wouldn't the dogs hit on that vehicle pretty hard? I mean, body fluids, so forth. I could be wrong because, how long would he be there? Just a few seconds? Hey, Ruby Slippers. We did talk about that, lovely. She's talking about how CP said the best part of Sebastian's disappearance is he didn't leave any evidence. Yeah, like I said, the best part, you're celebrating. It's like duper's delight, boasting, bragging. That I got away with it kind of attitude. Alex Smith says, I think CP came home for the weekend and gave KP ultimatum. And she said, okay. So they literally put a plan in place. And I believe your blackout theory is 100%. And so they went Saturday and got it all. Ugh. I hope we're all wrong on that. Okay, so Missy Motormouth says, here's Johnny. That is spot on. You're absolutely right. That's how I feel. It is a lot like Summer's case, Tracy. I do feel that. Hi, Sassy Sass. How you doing, lovely? Seth already made all the arrangements for him to live with him. Right. Carolyn Miller points out in her knowledge, and I've never heard of it either. She's saying the dogs did not go to the beach storage unit. I don't believe so either, Carolyn. That's an excellent point. If they can go to a landfill, they can go look at beach storage then. Larson Pat says CP could have left his phone in the camper and drove home. Think about it, you guys. He would have had to have a different vehicle. Otherwise, it would have been on his vehicle, on his GPS stuff. But would it be a borrowed vehicle? Dana Lynn, why so many GoFundMe's and no reward? Do we need to start one? Oh, honey, I have no idea how to do that. Somebody else would have to do that. I don't do that. If I do a charity, I do it so that your money goes directly towards the charity. And we raised $526 this week for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. I again want to say thank you. That was incredible. Linda Odell says, bingo, they waited for his arms to heal. 2, no thud. Hey, Nula, to make it look like it's normal, fun, and a busy day, and to let things fall in place. Alex Smith believes CP's undoing will be his cocky attitude. You could be right on that. I don't know, Mr. E. Crime Cast. Where is the beach storage unit? Hold on a minute. Let's look and see how far it is. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. I hit the wrong button. Are you awake now? I know, I'm trying to get something to work and I can't. Sorry. So sorry, y'all. Everybody's gonna be yelling at me in a minute. But, we're gonna leave our chat for a minute. No, we're not. Okay, how do I do it? Why won't it let me? I can't do it right now, y'all. I can't look it up right now. Because I got chat up on the window. I want to know that too. It can't be that bar. Dana Lynn says, I know, Mama D. I just can't figure out how they got to have 27K raised, but no reward. Right, Dana Lynn? Where's that 27,000 going? That's a lot of money. Where's that going to? How is that helping? Carolyn Miller says, it's my understanding they only brought in Scent Dog for Runaway. Well, I don't know. Because all we have to go on is what Chris Proudfoot told us. Right? I don't believe in anything he says. If I didn't hear it on the dispatch, I wouldn't believe that dogs even brought in at this point. "1.2 miles from the house," says Carolyn Miller. Well, that's interesting. I'm going to have to seriously think on that. We are a generous family, aren't we, Jennifer? We really are. She says, thank you. This is a very generous family. Thank you so much for what we all generated. Love you all. Thank you, Jennifer Swain Lovely. Okay. So the 20,000 is so Seth doesn't have to work for like a year or what? Ruby Slippers believes that Chris is so excited with himself that he can't help himself, and he's excited that he duped the police. It's almost like he's flaunting it and bragging about it. Chris does ride a motorcycle, says Brenda. I think so. I think Seth did go back to work. I could be wrong on anything I say tonight. This case, there's so little facts. It's all just like what we hear. And now we've got the PR guy. Y'all, okay, I'm just going to say PR guy. I can't even call him by name anymore because I can't. I'll stutter. All right. The PR guy has gotten tricked by some bot on some website that you can win. You can see if you're a winner for the night. It's a scam, right? But instead of owning up to it and being like, oh man, I got a little scammed by that, he turned it into a PR kind of announcement and tried to mislead, literally, knowing that, you know what? Detective Skaggs, the whole thing is a scam. For the PR guy to be suggesting that alone, y'all, all he's doing is proving. Do you remember Jim Terry? Do y'all remember Jim Terry? He came in like a hot firecracker during the Dylan Rounds case. And he got everybody all hyper. And now he's probably, in my humble opinion, selling popsicles in Alaska. I mean, that's where we're going with that. Alex Smith says they may get away with this, but I don't want them on judgment. I can't follow that. Sorry, love. Sorry, I missed something. Don't Dive says, KP says, I don't know why he walked out that door. How can she feel so confident that he walked out that door? I think that was her way to push her theory in the minds of everyone, and I don't buy it. Right? Brenda Gann says, I think everyone gave to the GoFundMe because everyone felt really sorry for Seth in the beginning. And I still do feel sorry for Seth. I really do. I just think he's kind of being gullible. Bibby in pieces. I hope the prophets watch a theory on Operation Blackout. Uh-huh. We'll leave it at that. Ruby Slippers for sure. He is so excited. CP says the best thing about this is that he left no evidence. Well, he says Sebastian left no evidence, right? Right, Ruby. We've talked about that. Davy Jones, Dee Dee had a card in his deception deck about that exact thing. Thank you, Davy Jones. Deception detective, that's who you mean. I love him. Right, the math ain't mathin', says Sassy. I agree. Hey, Perry Bradley. I still feel sorry for Seth, you guys. Yes, he was an angry kid with misplaced anger. But they have got more answers from Ellie in the past few days, in the past 85. So methods may not be traditional, but it did get. Uh, where'd we get answers, y'all? I'm sorry. I haven't seen any. We're nowhere. That presser wasn't even about Sebastian, really. Not that I saw. It was just how hard they were all working and introducing a new person that's been trying to work hard. Oh, thank you, Ruby Slippers. She says, I love your streams. Right, Davy Jones. You said you forgot the name of the card, but it describes insisting on a particular narrative and ignoring other possibilities. You go on to say we see it with the McCanns, the Ramseys, and the Wells. Joe Puglish, does anyone know what prison Katie's dad is in? You mean stepdad? And I would have no idea or nothing on that. P, you need to watch my Blackout theory yet? Well, I don't encourage anybody to watch it if you are triggered by search and recovery theories because it will upset you very much, and I don't want you upset. Mr. Ekran casts the storage unit is pretty close. I wonder if Katie dropped by there when she was, quote, out looking for Sebastian. Huh. Really makes me wonder. Stillwater says, hey y'all, I'm really enjoying this channel and perspective here. Well, thank you. You guys are so incredible. I have the smartest grew. I was going to say crew and group, and it came out grew. You guys are incredible. You're amazing, and you're very wise. And so I enjoy these conversations, just like if I called my best friend on the phone and we talk true crime. It matters to me, and I want you to have the voice too. So that's why I read for you. Perry Bradley says, I would say he was moved when she accompanied her husband back to work, but maybe storage was where she put him at first. Unfortunately, every case that we learn the details about, such as Harmony and Montgomery getting moved, right? Such as Summer Wells disappearing in Tennessee. Last, best day ever for Madeline Soto. It's almost as if like parents, nefarious parents, bad parents, right? Study these and like duplicate what they think worked the best. That's horrific. Aw, Brenda Gam, I'm a reflection of you. You say, Mama D, you are sweet and smart. Thank you, lovely. I think you guys are sweet and smart too. We're a bunch of sweet and smarties. We're a bunch of sweet tarts, y'all. Crystal Clear says, it was said it took Katie a while to get back home. The police was there before Katie got back. Linda Timmons, does anyone else think Sebastian's body? Where did you go? Ooh, chat just like blew by. I mean, it's gone. I want to know what it said. Moved. Where? Oh, it disappeared. Okay, that's why. Crystal Clear says it was. Okay, I read that. Ruby Slippers, do you think the pressure is getting to C and KP and they are being watched? I do think they are being watched very cautiously. I hope the pressure's getting on them. I don't know for sure, though. Good question, dear. I do not know if Tennessee is a DP state. I do not know. That's an excellent question. Linda Timmons, does anyone else feel like his body has been moved? Give me a 1 for those of you that believe he has passed over. Give me a 1 if you feel like he could be being moved. Give me a 2 if you feel like he is no more, like there's no trace. All stores, genuines, have video footage. Missy Motormouth. It's highly likely they would have had some sort of video footage in that area, I would think. Bama Girl Breeze says, and it takes a while per country to get to rural areas. Per county. Ooh, a lot of people. So you guys are a mixed bunch on that, like half and half, I'd say, if I had to guess. Maybe a few more think he could be being moved. I think the 3 means not sure he could be alive. It is a DP state, Alex said. Is Mississippi? Is Mississippi a DP state? Duchess believes he was moved a few times. Hmm. Well, I pray that there is no such thing as a perfect crime, Ruby. I pray. But it always bothers me when we can't figure out. Okay, I mean, is it not a slap in our own faces when we have Dawn and Candace Wells that seem to have outsmarted the whole world? Never judge a book by its cover. Mama Girl wants to see what all she bought at that store on their day out. Snacks. If she bought shoes, that could be a huge clue. She wouldn't need to buy shoes. She's got family. She could just borrow a pair of shoes, right? Or maybe they bought it for him. That way there's no receipt to worry about. Joe Puglish doesn't believe they've had time to move him. Like, 'cause they are being watched, right? You could be right, Joe. Mr. E. Crimecast says they don't live in a rural area. They live in a busy area, one of the busiest areas in the county. Agreed. Yes, Mississippi is a DP state. Is Arkansas? You guys are going to kill me for asking all this. I'm just saying, I'm trying to find where they might have, like, done it. Aw, don't dive. I love you. You said he may be with Jesus, but I still have hope he's alive. I have hope too, lovely. Right, T-Dub. What kind of snacks? M- Aw, Missy says he's gone with Jesus. Ruby says, says, I have a feeling they are being watched and sweating. I hope you're right. And then you jumped away. There you are. And that's when people mess up. Gotcha. Sassy says, Wisconsin, we had a 12-year-old girl escape a child predator, and LE caught the predator and arrested her mother after finding out the mom accepted money for the guy to take her daughter. You guys, it's happening. And if you remember in the Summer Wells case, that little girl was jumping in front of a red for sale barrel. right before she was gone. Dana Lynn says, question. My autistic nephew and my friend's son, who is like Sebastian, never go without shoes. Both of these teenagers always wear slip-ons. Anyone else? My autistic child will not go outside barefoot. Would not. I don't know about you guys. Share with me. It is awful, Sassy. Mama Girl says the only way he'd leave it behind, in my opinion, is if she promised him a new Switch. All right, my lovely Luz. Right, Mama Girl. Parents trafficking their own kids is beyond. True train coming through. All right, my lovelies. I am going to jump off here. I want to say thank you humbly. Let's see where we ended. 629 votes, 92%. Let's end the poll. Let's end it and see what it says. Oh, where'd it go? I thought if I ended it, I got a result somewhere. I should have taken a picture of it. Well, doggoner. Doggoner. Oh, here it is. Do you believe Sebastian left by his own choice? 92% said no, and 7% said yes. Poll complete, 629 votes. Welcome, Brenda Gann, to our Starlights. All right, you guys. I love you. I'm going to go work on Discord for a little bit. Then I'm going to go to bed. I want to get it ready for everybody. I'm looking forward to it. And let's keep Sebastian in our hearts and in our prayers. And I love you all. I truly do. There'll be no music. I screwed it up. Hold on. What can I give you? I can give you this. Hold on.
You can tell yourself and all our friends I was wrong and you were right. But your sins that happened in the dark will come out in the light. I'm not gonna waste my breath, I won't put up a fight. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk.
Sing it with me, you guys.
Shout out the truth. Time will tell. Time will tell on you. When a train whistles far away, and when the cold wind blows, when the lightning in your eyes reveals the darkness in your soul, the world will be reminded of what it already knows. 'Cause the days are gonna whisper and the months are gonna talk until the years yell out the truth.
Special thank you to Brandon MADDOX.
Time will tell.
Time will tell on you. Here it comes, you guys. Sing it.
No one may ever say a thing, but surely as the seasons change, you feel like every finger points at you, 'cause you're to blame. And the days are gonna whisper, and the months are gonna talk, until the years shall out the truth.
Sing with me, you guys.
Time will tell. Time will tell on you.
I love you all. To the moon and back.